Okay.
So, good morning, everybody. We are on another show with Sense with Sam. Today, we are going to talk about electoral bonds. I think all of us might have seen this recent judgment of Supreme Court and State Bank of India getting back to Supreme Court after a couple of warnings that though they have got the data. The citizens went and matched, trying to match the data of donors with recipients. So there's a lot of analytics and combinatorial mathematics happening, and people are trying to decode what it is, and it's throwing a lot of surprises that this must be the one of the biggest scam, quid pro quo scam of the world or the century. So I'll let Sam talk about it, and today let's dive deep into the electoral bond scam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sean. Greetings, everyone from Chicago. I really don't know enough about the details of all the bonds and everything, but I believe our young team wanted to discuss today the bond issue. So here I am giving you my own version of the bond issue that we want to discuss. First of all, in India, we came up with this special scheme recently that companies can buy a bond from State Bank of India, which would be usable or available to a particular party they want to assign, and that party would cash that bond, get the money to spend for, I assume, election and other purposes, and this will remain confidential so that no one would know who gave how much to whom. And then citizens got a little curious, wanted to know more about these bonds, and strongly felt that this is public information. We should know who is funding our elections and what influence they have on policies, programs, political parties, to really strengthen their own position in business or whatever, or their own interest. Supreme Court made a decision after quite some time, and the decision was to really ask State Bank of India to make this information freely available to public. Now, I believe it is available. There are two pieces of information. One, these are the people who put in the money, and these are the people who received the money. But who put in how much for whom, that information is still vague, not quite available in the format that people can use. And a lot of people are trying to put these two pieces together. The larger question to me is that elections require a lot of money, even in a poor country like India. I mean, you are talking about thousands and thousands of crores. Some people have given 1,000 crores, 1,200 crores, 1,600 crores. That's a lot of money by any standard. And these are individual companies giving that kind of money. So when you add up everything, it looks like Indian elections might cost us tens of billions of dollars. Not only the money that came from bonds, but also monies that individual candidates spend, their parties spend, and their families, friends, business contacts spend. This is staggering amount. Fortunately, it happens once every 5 years or less. But by any standard, this is of great concern to many people. I remember in Rajiv Gandhi era, elections did cost a little bit of money, but nothing compared to what we are spending today. Even in terms of overall national elections, state elections, and all put together. So if you add to these numbers state elections, it is clear that electioning is a big business. And corporates play into it, PR agencies play into it, advertising, hoarding, events, travel, parties. There has to be a better way to promote. There must be a way to put some cap that works on the expenditure. So today we'll have a conversation on what this election funding means. Bond is a piece of the puzzle. It is not the only puzzle, but it's a big piece because it is now in public discourse and there is more to come. But I personally still believe the real issue is EVM. If bond issue get sort of our attention, then we may not focus more on the real issue, which is EVM. Bond, no bond, EVM could really decide the outcome of the election. And that's why a lot of people are asking for paper ballot. I've expressed my personal concerns on the possibility of manipulating EVM with electronic receipt, paper receipt, VVPAT, attached printer, thermal printer, showing me receipt for 7 seconds. There are all kinds of issues. And the idea is not to get into technical issue right now, but really focus on trust. I have personally lost trust. And I'm beginning to question the very fundamental that are you really counting the vote I am casting? So let's open up for a conversation on bond, keeping in mind that this is piece of a bigger puzzle where EVM also plays a very big role. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Privrida. And now we can have a broader conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I think without much ado, I'll ask about one of this top donor, supposed to be the future gaming person from Tamil Nadu, Santiago Martin. He has donated thousands of crores, and there are clear evidences that he was raided the day before or the week before or very recently, just before there were quite some large donations were received, particularly by Bharatiya Janata Party. So people are still able to prove that okay, this is the donation he made, but still people have done all sort of combinatorial mathematics and analytics and able to connect the incidences and identify this must be the donor and this must be the donations they might have made on this day to the party. So this overall quid pro quo, there are more than 30 plus top donors who have went only to the party, Bharatiya Janata Party. You, this is like killing of democracy is what everybody is feeling, and this must be the scam of the century is what all the civil rights thought leaders are talking about in media. I think in media is not featuring them, so they are talking in YouTube media. So what are your thoughts, sir?
Well, I think facts will come out in the next few weeks, which would probably firm up some of these ideas. It may be a little too early to say that this is the scam of the century or biggest scam and whatever. We sort of tend to use superlatives very freely in Indian society. Everything is great and super great and, Vishwaguru and superpower and all that. So I'm not big on superlatives. I want to sort of, moderate a little bit. But I would say, yes, if that is the case, where somebody, a gaming company particularly, giving that kind of donations would require somebody to change gaming laws or issue gaming license or give gaming privilege to be able to return that kind of investment. If it was a long established manufacturing company or a well established company like Tata, it will be different than a gaming company who wants a quick success. So, for a gaming company, which may not have the revenues of Tatas or Birlas or Ambanis or Adanis, for them it is a lot of money. So they want quid for quo. They want benefits immediately. So yes, there may be some truth in what people are saying, but it may be a little too early.
Sure, sir. Huma from YouTube is asking us, BJP started rejecting the scam in all forums. Even a minister giving vague logic as 6,000 crore donation for BJP divided by 300 MPs come out to be like, comes out, whatever. I think they have got some logic per MP. Some 20 crore per MP is what they got. Some of the logic are 200 crore per MP. So, whereby this logic, INC got 600 crore. And I think Huma is asking, how do we tackle such a disinformation campaign trying to escape extortion nexus they are involved in?
See, numbers can be twisted to create whatever perception you want to create. Number game is not very easy because it can cloud the issues. So first of all, it's, I think, 20 crores and not 200 crores, because 20 multiplied by 303 is 6,000. But what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. If you say 20 crores, then you can invite, by some other number, if not MP. So I don't think a logic like saying 20 crore per MP is reasonable, unreasonable, or whatever. The fact is 6,000 crore is a lot of money. Okay. Whether you divide by 300 MP or you can divide by 600 MP, don't make any difference. So the issue is not really how you dice and slice to make your argument. The issue is this is of great concern to public. Don't try to justify, because there is no justification here. Okay. So I wouldn't fall into that game of trying to convince me to be different numbers. Okay. But then perceptions will differ from people to people. you know.
So I think Mediga Murthy from Facebook is posting a large comment, a long comment. It is surprising and unfortunate that Modi ji, before he came into power in 2014, he promised to distribute black money from Swiss Bank to the public at large. Now he's protecting black money of crony capitalists and corporates in the name of electoral bonds, which is the highest scam in the world and nothing but statutory backing of crony capitalists. It is nothing but gaining power by promising false promises and when in power doing everything against public interest.
Looks like it. I agree that these two issues are connected. One saying, I'll bring all the black money back. Nothing happened. But then Prime Minister even goes on promising today that my promise is like gold. My promises you can depend on. And here is a promise about bringing black money back, which never got fulfilled. Two, I do believe that there is more today than ever before in Indian system where people don't mean what they say and they don't say what they mean. So I think false propaganda, sort of choreographing of event, dramatization of attacks on other people has become a norm at the highest level in the country today. Okay. There is no dignified discourse. Nobody talks with humility, with toned down voice, with respect for the other person, with real facts that you can verify and re-verify, and consistent facts. They say one thing today, they say exactly opposite tomorrow, and they're okay, they are comfortable. And people just believe whatever they see. So I think if people can be swayed, politicians will use that to their advantage. And this is not only the case in India. Globally, things have changed in the last 10 years. I had a guest from South Africa for the last 2 days and staying with me, a professor who studied at University of Illinois and is a professor retired in South Africa, South African. And we spent 2 days talking about global politics, what is happening in South Africa, what kind of leadership. And you see these kind of parallels everywhere, where business, politicians come together to create personal wealth at the cost of public. They lie, they cheat, and they get away with it. And at the end of the day, public is left with all the losses. It's going on in a big way in Africa. And every day we spend about 12 hours talking about issues in Africa. And you realize that what we are discussing today is not only Indian dilemma, but it is all over. But that doesn't make Indian dilemma right. But there is something going on in the global politics that is giving rise to more and more of this. Partly because of greedy business, greedy politicians, and less concern for public good, for public service. And more make fools of public, promise them things you never deliver, tell them all kinds of lies and confuse them, and take advantage of them. That's what is going on everywhere.
So We have Virender Vashisht from Indian versus Congress on.
I know Virendra very well. He's a good
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Virendra, do you want to ask any questions about this? Maybe you can ask in Hindi. Virendra, are you there? Okay. I'll just post again Huma's another question. How should India Group respond to scam being bluntly rejected by current government and similar propaganda being spread to crores of WhatsApp society groups?
See, all the social media is used basically to propagate lies, basically to change people's opinion. At some point in time, people of India will have to realize that social media is not the place where you find your truth. Social media amplifies lies and suppresses truth. So if I was to look at social media, I would say, whatever social media is saying, I'm going to divide by 5. Whatever social media is not saying, I'm going to multiply by 3 or 4. So today, India Group will have to not just respond to social media, but as a collective opposition, will have to look at the implication of EVM, electoral bond, and voter list. These are the 3 most important issues in front of us right now, because elections are around the corner. Elections will dictate the destiny of India, especially 2024 elections are very important. And if you don't vote right and bring in power a group which doesn't believe in your idea of the future, you will pay for it. Yeah. So that's up to the voters. But to have free and fair election, you got to make sure that EVM issue is sorted out, which basically means paper ballot, nothing else, because nothing else is going to work. Okay. No amount of technology is going to solve the problem as it is today, because of all the complexity, loss of trust, logistics, and moving million machines from point A to point B, million dongles with all kinds of information, hundreds of people, private companies, serving in between, truck drivers moving these machines. It's probably not worth it, according to me. Paper ballot could be easily be done in 2024, and then you decide for the next 5 years how will you fix the existing problems, and again build trust in people. And when you build trust, you can bring trusted technology. But this technology as it is today is not worth trusting, no matter what anybody else says. Okay. And I'm telling you based on my experience for last 58 years, okay, in technology. So
Okay, Dila Ali from LinkedIn is asking, today during the announcement of the election dates, the Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar's answers related to EVMs and taking actions against the Model Code of Conduct violators seem like admonishing people who have doubts. He should address concerns by assuring and not blaming people for raising questions or having doubts. I get a similar sense of behaviors of other constitutional post holders like governors, etc. It seems like their political representatives are not having. Is a comment he is trying to pass upon.
I mean, it's silly that election commissioner will say that I should say something on EVM that is in line with them. No, I don't have to. Okay. I mean, I'm a technical guy, and if I have doubts, I'll raise the doubts. You can't stop me from that. Okay. What kind of nonsense is that? Yeah. Now, you may not agree with it, which is okay. That's your privilege. But my right to speak, and don't link it with national interest and, foreign involvement and security, all this bogus. There is no security issue here. I'm equally intelligent. Who the hell you think you are? Okay. It's just not acceptable. This kind of behavior, high-handedness, how can you accept that in a democracy? Okay. Of course, I respect your view. You got to respect mine too. Okay. I may be wrong, which is okay. But let's have a dialogue that is full of facts on your part, on my part, as well as we know truth, as you understand, as I understand. And then we can disagree and we can agree to disagree.
So the election commissioner resigning and a couple of other election commissioners being recruited just the week ahead of elections, is that not a great sign of some distress inside election commission itself, Sam? What are your thoughts? Last week I had an interaction with MG Devasagayam as well as Mahmood Pacha. So both of them are certainly talking about that things are not in great direction. I think people are kind of having some conscience issues inside the election commission. That's the reason these are popping up, and the Modi and government is not making any efforts. Even they removed the judiciary's role in recruiting the election commissioner. And what are your thoughts?
I'm not really qualified, Sean, to make judgment on these things. I would rely more on Devatsa Sham and Pracha and others who understand legality on one side, because Mr. Pracha is a Supreme Court lawyer, and Devashayam is really IAS officer. He understands more government administrations and all that. But the fact, as a layman, the fact that election commissioner resigned a few weeks before election is definitely of concern to me. Any sensible person would have said, I'll finish this job and then resign. So he must have his own reason. I don't know what those are. Okay, I don't want to speak for him because I don't know. Okay. And then for government to appoint two other people without Supreme Court and all, these are all legal issues. I'm really not qualified to comment. Okay.
Thank you, Sam. Virender Vashisht, go ahead. You can ask some questions. Nice to meet you here.
Yeah, thank you. And the issue is electoral bonds. I'm sorry, it's the
Virender,
foundation.
you want to ask in Hindi? You can ask.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Ask in whatever language you want to ask. Go ahead, Virendra.
Yeah, sir. The issue is that the foundation of this electoral bond totally illegal. We are raising the other issue, but the Supreme Court raised the issue that it's a unconstitutional because of it's a violation of Article 19(1)(a), right to information. That's why BJP is worried about this constitution. Anant Hegde raised the issue that we need 400 seats to change this constitution. So my appeal from this platform to every Indian, please save democracy, save our constitution. Otherwise, if we will fail in this time, nobody save Indian from this Modi Gundagardi. Otherwise, on elections bonds, sir, the issue is the Arjit Patel, you know him, the former RBI governor. During the preparations of the electoral bond, he raised the issue that it's a gateway of money laundering. So, and second, election commission also said in 2017 it's not fit for the fair and free elections. Now it's forcefully because of the BJP election bonds are come without any consent with, even they come with the money bill, not राज्यसभा का भी डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ. तो इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि सर हमें अरिजीत पटेल जितने लोग हैं इलेक्शन बॉन्ड पर फोकस, कि जो राहुल गांधी ने भी कहा है कि इससे बड़ा वसूली, पहले पुरानी फिल्मों में देखते थे कि एक गुंडा बदमाश अच्छे लोगों से कहता था कि आप पैसा दीजिए जब ही आप बिजनेस कर सकते हैं, और अभी जो इसकी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है उसमें क्लियर हो गया है कि केवल फायदा दिया गया है इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स खरीदने वालों का. इस पे सर आप भी और हम सबको, जितने भी देशवासी हैं, उनको इस बात को आगे उठाना पड़ेगा. मैं आपका थैंक यू करना चाहता हूं. आपने ईवीएम की बात उठाई तो आज पूरे देश में ईवीएम पर बात चल रही है कि आपके आगे आने के बाद अब हर आदमी ये कह रहा है कि ईवीएम में कुछ गड़बड़ है. क्योंकि आप देखो राहुल जी की यात्रा हो या जितने भी एजिटेशन हो रहे हैं, आज वकील हो, टीचर हो, स्टूडेंट हो और जवान किसान, हर आदमी एजिटेशन पे है. फिर भी बीजेपी कह रही है कि हम 400 सीट लाएंगे. तो ये क्लियर करती है कि कहीं ना कहीं ईवीएम में कुछ गड़बड़ है, जो वो इतना कॉन्फिडेंसली कह रहे हैं कि हम 400 सीट लाएंगे. तो इस पर भी मेरा ये मानना है कि हम सबको आगे आना चाहिए. और आपने जैसे ईवीएम के ऊपर मुहिम स्टार्ट की है, शान ने भी एपिसोड आपके साथ कर हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को जागरूक किया है. तो इलेक्ट्रोल बॉन्ड पर भी सर मैं ये चाहता हूं कि सीरीज हमारी डेली चलनी चाहिए कि किन किन कंपनियों को फायदा हुआ, जिन पर रेड पड़ती थी ईडी की, सीबीआई, आईटी की, और जब वो इलेक्ट्रोल बॉन्ड खरीदते थे उनको फायदा होता था. सर मैं आपको एक चीज बताता हूँ क्या क्या चेंज किया इन्होंने. सर इलेक्ट्रोल बॉन्ड के साथ साथ इन्होंने इनकम टैक्स के रूल्स चेंज किए, एफसीआरए के रूल चेंज किए. पहले नेट प्रॉफिट का ओनली 7.5% ही आप दे सकते थे, अब 100% तक दे सकता है आदमी, चाहे कंपनी को फायदा हुआ या नहीं हुआ. तो जितना इससे बड़ा घोटाला आज तक हिंदुस्तान में हुआ नहीं है, इसको हमें जोर शोर से उठाना चाहिए.
Well, that's your comment, and you are entitled to make that comment. I'm not really qualified to respond to all of it, but I would say that I spoke about EVM more as a technical person. I expressed my view. Then it is for people to express their views.
Yeah.
I won't take credit for a lot of stuff. There are other people who have spoken on EVM, and there has been a national concern on EVM on a lot of these issues. So, we all have our own ideas. Like you express your opinion. I don't have to agree with a lot of these opinion, nor do I have to, be right about many things. But as a technical person, I very strongly feel, even today, that EVM is definitely a greater issue than we are willing to accept. It can be manipulated. I don't know how, when, whom, but it has a lot of loose ends. As soon as the VVPAT came in, receipt came in, EVM became sort of a part of a system and no longer a standalone machine. Okay, that's it. And then all the logistics of who puts a dongle and how dongle is put and what can be put in dongle, all these issues open.
These are serious concerns, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is another bench in Supreme Court, which I think responded this week to Prashant Bhushan and many others who have raised concern and who have been fighting on the CVM issue for quite some time. They are, I think, going by the current arguments in Supreme Court, they are asking us to merely trust, and they are not asking us not to have the trust issue based on the information what we get to see in many outside forums. Why Supreme Court should ask on us to trust, actually? Why there is no way we are not able to verify and completely authenticate? And when we have trust issue, And even Mahmood project clearly told EVM is an optional thing according to our constitution. Whenever we got this new kind of automation mechanism added, our paper ballot is the rightful way to conduct the election, and that is how it is still in our constitution and many other laws, electoral laws. So EVM is just an option thing. So why this current government is hell bent against continuing this EVM, despite there are trust issues too? And how come there some of their MPs are going and talking in outside world that they are going to get 400 and they are going to change constitutions? Who is giving them this superior arrogance, confidence, Sam?
I have no idea. All I would say is courts have to decide what needs to be done next. Don't ask me to build trust without really election commissioner responding. It is their job to build trust and not mine. My job is to mistrust first until you prove otherwise. Okay, I just can't trust blindly what you are saying because I also have a brain. May not be as good as yours, but I'm an independent thinker. I'm a critical thinker. And if I find a problem, I would express it. You are the government, so you got to prove it to me that I should trust more. And don't ask me the questions you are asking me. So that's one. Second, what you're saying is a very complex question that can only be answered through open public discourse with intervention of an interpretation of law, and it could get very complicated. In Germany, as we know, German Supreme Court decided that no electronic voting. Paper ballot is the only place where I can build trust and say what you are casting is what I'm counting. I can't do that in electronic voting machine. It has nothing to do with technology, nothing to do with being progressive, nothing to do with high tech. It's all not the key issue. Okay. Key issue is, are you really counting the vote I'm casting? Prove it to me all the time. And if I might doubt, clear up my doubts. That's where we are today. And I'm telling you, 2024 election is going to be the most important election in the history of India.
Sure.
And if somebody plays with that and somebody fiddles with it, the destiny of India will or could change. So that's why many of us are more vocal than we would be normally. Okay. I think there was some question.
Yeah. I think there is one question from Manav official. Mega Krishna Reddy, who gave 996 crores for political parties before Telangana Assembly elections. Congress party opposed if we come to power, will do investigation on Mega Krishna Reddy. But Krishna Reddy meets CM weekly once. So I think it's more of a commentary that are we taking action?
I don't know the local politics or local person. I've never heard of the Mega Krishna Reddy. I'm sure he's an important person, but I have no idea. Next.
In response to one of the RTA, SBI responded that total electoral bonds were 28,000, but they got the data for only 22,000 bonds. There are 6,000 bonds of the initial years have not been provided by SBI still. They I think they are saying still they are collecting data, blah blah. So I think even people analyzed that there are 95% of those donations went to BJP. So of those initial bonds, which I think they have not provided data. So kind of that there is a lot of data fiddling happening by the topmost bank, State Bank of India, who's acting like a Sanghi bank. So what are your thoughts?
Well, State Bank of India has to be more open, more transparent, more collaborative, cooperative. it is in public interest for them to disclose as much as you can, and disclose it like, they wanted till June 30th. When Supreme Court put their foot down, now you have information available. Okay, that itself tells me that they don't want to share everything possible. So my advice would be share as much as possible, be open, transparent, because that's in the larger public interest. Of course, there'll be some confusion. Of course, there'll be some mistakes, and people will, misunderstand data. That's okay. That's part of the game. Okay. My main concern is that how much money has gone into election in the last 5 years, not just through bond, through everything else. You take all state elections, you take federal election, central election. My God, that's a lot of money. Okay. And if that money had gone into education, into eliminating hunger, in helping poor, where would we be? If you had today a bond to build slums into a better living, do you think we'll collect that kind of money? If we had education bond, do you think people will donate like this? If we had health bond or bond to provide drinking water in every city, do you think people will be able to raise this kind of money? That's the question I'm asking. Okay.
R. Kuria from Twitter is asking, electoral bond issue has shown how unscrupulous our opponents are. EVMs will surely be manipulated.
That's an opinion, Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm not sure whether we
Let
went
me
to
read it. Let me read it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead, put it on.
Yeah. So
Since
since
last
last
10 years, there is no relations what this government promises and what people are expecting and what government is doing. It seems that present government ruining the people's wealth and giving it to their capitalists in the form of loan waivers, not it is election bond. Unfortunately, this type of ruling badly neglecting common people and supporting the protecting capitalists needs to, if it goes to, there will be no place in the democracy, blah, blah, blah. Rahul Gandhi has been talking about this, and I heard some of his speeches as part of Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra. And he's talking about the fact that common people's problems are ignored, inequality is created because of favoring handful of top level rich business houses, and it is a concern. Okay.
Rahul or Raju? You always go by Raju. Raju is in your hearts.
No, it's just a Freudian slip. I've done that, in fact,
Yeah,
Rahul
now
and I.
I am counting.
No, Rahul and I have been traveling together, and many times in public meeting also, I would
Yeah.
make a mistake. What do I do? I'm just an old man.
Yeah, not.
Okay, I'll hand over the mic to Priyamata. Go ahead, Priyamata. You have any question or
Yeah. So Rajendran is waiting like quite for some time. Rajendran,
Sorry.
can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can mute.
Yeah, and ask your question.
So my question is more with respect to the EVM. I'm
Rajendran, we are not.
Yeah, I think we are not able to hear you, Rajendran.
We lost you.
Yeah, can you speak now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm speaking for the second time. So I just want to know, I know Sam Petroji has been, close to Rahul Gandhi, and he's been also met him recently, right? I think in London, some cameras. So I want to know what is his RG's opinion on EVM. I know EVM, he shortly spoke in one of the Nyaya Yatra, but it is not probably his first priority. But I just want to know if Sam Petroleum is very strong on EVM. Did he talk to Rahul Gandhi? And what was Rahul Gandhi's opinion? And how are they going to tackle it? Because elections been announced it.
I have spoken to him about EVM at length. He agrees that there is something fishy. He doesn't know what it is, like many of us. He has spoken against EVM. Recently, also, he said that he understands there is a public opinion and public is out on the street against EVM. His priorities have been to really focus on what he considers as the larger issues, which is basically employment, inflation, democracy, inclusion, inequality. But I agree that EVM is an immediate issue because elections are around the corner. What he's talking about are larger issues for the next 5 years. Okay.
So just continuing with that, so what is the recourse, sir? Like, how can we get out of this circle of, what will make the SC, take up this case? Is it just the people's movement, or what do you think?
I think Supreme Court will pay attention to people's concern because ultimately in democracy, people matter. It is for the people, by the people, of the people. And if large number of people are dissatisfied and are concerned about EVM and they've lost trust, somebody has to respond. You can't ignore it. You can't have high-handed attitude saying we know the answer and we are saying it, so just shut up and listen to us. Okay, that's just not the way to do it. Okay. You can't turn around and say anybody who spoke against EVM is a desdrohi. Come on, give me a break. Okay.
And this comes from somebody who was part of the initial envisioning, Sam.
That's not the point. Yeah, of course it helps, but the point is there is concern, there is mistrust.
Yeah.
Okay, fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is a simple solution to fix it.
Yeah.
Paper ballot, just do it. Why are you arguing all this stuff? Okay, what is the sense in arguing and going through all this halla gulla and hassles of bringing million machines and coordinating all that? Just 2024 election, do it on paper ballot. And then take time to sort it out. Okay. What is the big deal? I don't understand who is so much against paper ballot. Okay, for what? Takes 3 more days.
BJP.
If it takes 3 more days, take 3 more days. Takes 1 week, take 1 more week, no problem. Okay.
So Supreme Court's expectation to prove EVM issue is wrong expectation without giving device access. They are not looking into BJP affiliates playing critical role in BJP manufacturing EVM. So also this issue was in the public domain. The people who have contested or played active role in BJP are in the board of directors of both Bharat Electronics Limited and Electronic Corporation of India Limited. What are your thoughts on?
No, these are all the issues which relate to mistrust. In mistrust, all of these things come in. Okay. Who is manufacturing the equipment? Who is on the board of manufacturing companies? How is that machine distributed? Who is fixing on the spot? How many went bad? Why do you have 30% bad machines? What happened to those bad machines? Who fixed it? Okay. How many technicians are involved in it? How much money has been spent in fixing old machines? Nobody knows. It raises more questions because of this complex system introduced. You don't have such issues in paper ballot. Okay. You may have some other issues, but they're easy to deal with comparatively. It's a traditional method. Okay, if everybody is watching while the paper ballot is open, counted, straightforward. Present EVM machine was designed many years ago. There are many revisions. There are many versions of hardware, software, multiple manufacturers, different components, different private companies, going and adding dongle, different versions of printer, probably showing it to me only for 7 seconds, then dropping it in an electronic box. I don't know whether you showed me what you dropped me. You can't prove that to me. Okay. Because what you dropped me, I can't hold it in my hand to make sure that what I saw is what you dropped. It's that simple. Okay. Don't tell me to believe everything you are telling me. Okay. Why did you give me the paper receipt in my hand after it is shown to me? And then let me drop it in a box that is not connected to electronics. Then my trust level increases. Okay.
I think this is becoming further crucial from a technocrat who have been part of the initial days of EVM, part of the governments advising prime ministers who have designed this EVM or rolled out the EVM nationally. To
See, the idea was good in the beginning, but it got all muddled up and messed up with paper receipt, with the way paper receipt was designed, with the way 7-second display was put together, with the way dongle had to come in the picture, with the way electronic receipt was, or paper that you saw for 7 seconds was printed, dropped in an electronic box. All of these issues have raised questions. Okay.
I just went through 8 cases out of 40 cases mentioned by ECI today. Many are frivolous cases, poorly presented in the court. The cases themselves do not constitute to the defense of VVPAT EVMs. However, they were quoted by ECI today as some sort of proof that EVMs, VVPATs are safe because the court said so. What the court said was that the cases were frivolous. This can happen when no material evidence is submitted. So how can we kind of help in some of these cases? There are some parts of our party, Congress party, is involved in some of the cases, but is it how can we provide material?
All I'm saying is answer to me that are you 100% counting the vote I'm casting? Prove it to me. Don't show me for 7 seconds and drop something somewhere which cannot confirm to me. It may confirm to you, but to me, that what I saw is what you dropped. That's all. So give me a paper receipt in my hand, and then let me drop that paper receipt in a box that is not connected to electronic device. That's all I'm asking. Then my trust increases. If you don't allow me to do that, my trust level hasn't changed. Because you are dropping my receipt in electronic connected box, and anybody can do anything. Not that they are doing it. Okay. I don't know that. Now, don't confuse me with this case and that case and this happened and that happened. No, I'm not interested in all that. That's your problem. That's not my problem. I'm not running election commission. Okay. I'm a citizen. I want to make sure that my vote is counted. The way you are telling me today, I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. And don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. See.
Are there any questions, Virender, Vashishta, you have, or Priyanka?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sam ने बिल्कुल clear कर दिया. It's a matter of trust deficit.
That's
election commission पे जो एज ए वोटर, एज ए सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया हमारा ट्रस्ट कम हो रहा है, उसको फेयर एंड फ्री इलेक्शन का जो आइडिया है उसके लिए बैलेट ही एक आंसर है.
And it's not complicated. Why are you opposing it? I don't understand.
Yeah.
In 2024, because it is a very important election.
Yeah.
So some small election of some municipality, we like, ठीक है, जाने दो.
और सर एक और बात है
हाँ.
कि अगर भारत के लोग किसी पार्टी को जिताना चाहते हैं, चाहे बैलेट हो या ईवीएम हो, वो जिताएंगे. उसमें डर
Then
क्या
it
है
is
किसी
fair.
को?
Then whatever happens, happens, na? That's
Yeah.
what we accept it in
Yeah,
democracy. We'll
it's a
accept
matter of a trust deficit.
We will accept the results with great
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
People of India, there is no problem. Okay, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything. But I have to have trust.
Yeah. It's a matter of trust deficit.
And then when people of India decide this party or that party, that is people of India's decision.
It's
And we'll
their
respect
right.
it. Everybody should respect that.
Yeah.
I think people are talking about Rahul's comment about ballot papers recently, but the coverage by media is not much, and people have not even heard him saying about this. So, what
But
can we do
media,
actually?
we know that media doesn't give Rahul fair coverage. Okay, media is
Gaudy media
always,
nowadays.
always, picking on Rahul, poor guy. Okay, when he goes to some of these cities, they even turn off internet. Okay, I admire Rahul's courage that he can stand up to this unfair media and still keep his sanity. Anybody else would have broken down long time ago. And that's their idea, is to harass the guy by first calling him Papu. You can't have a guy who has a master's from Cambridge, Papu, and a guy who is a flunk out from college or school as the hero. I mean, come on, give me a break. Okay. So it is very unfair media today. Indian media doesn't give me opportunity. Social media does. National media doesn't. And when they do, they misrepresent. They take something out of context, blow it out of proportion. Okay. So I won't even talk to some of them. I have nothing to talk to them. Okay. I cannot have a conversation with them because the conversation is one-sided. Now, they may be right, I may be wrong, fine. Okay. But that's how I feel. And I'm entitled to that. Okay. So media has not been fair to Rahul at all. This is my view.
There is a request. Since it is not reaching enough, and Godi Media is hiding or not featuring Rahul enough, so he need to say it multiple times that there is a demand for ballot paper. So because at least through internet, Rahul is reaching.
People are saying it. Okay, why should Rahul also say it? Maybe people are saying on Rahul's behalf. A nation of this size and magnitude has multiple voices. Okay, Rahul has said it. Rahul will probably say it again. But if people of India said it, it will probably get better hearing today.
Now, even people talking, nobody's talking about it, Sam. That there is a growing dissent or kind of anti-incumbent.
No, people are afraid. No, people are afraid. People are attacked for this. People are, full of fear.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
yeah. So there's just one comment from Rajendran. Rajendran, can you unmute and ask?
Yeah, sir. Just follow up on that. So there is, initiative from, two very popular Supreme Court lawyers, like Manu Pratap Singh and Pracha. So they are very vocal about EVM. They organized protest. I mean, you in the last call I had, you said get in the streets, and that's exactly they were doing. And I think they got great response. And they are very, very aggressive on that, and they have plans to, somehow block EVM. But they needed support from Rahul Gandhi. I think Banu Pratap asked. I think in the Bihar, along with Lalu, there was a rally, and he was asking Rahul Gandhi to support. But I think there was no quote from Rahul Gandhi and EVM. So, what do you think about it? Like, why that connection is not happening? Because I believe that farmers are also getting into EVM now. So I believe all these protests come together, and one single forum they raise EVM. That will be a greater voice. But they feel that they do not have. I mean, I'm a very hardcore Congress supporter. I'm with Rahul Gandhi, but they feel that he's not giving support. So, what do you think about it?
First of all, it's not true. I'm in touch with Pracha. I know him well. We have talked about it. See, for everything, there is a time. On this particular issue, they may want Rahul to speak at time T1, and Rahul may want to speak at time T2. Okay. And there is a delay between T1 and T2. So it will happen. We know that Rahul understands and appreciates the EVM issue. And these two people are in the loop. Okay. So it will happen at the right time.
Super, Sam. I think we are done with almost all the questions.
Okay.
Virender, if you don't have any questions, we can sum up the call. But I think...
Thank you, Priyamvada.
Yeah.
Any questions you have, Priyamvada?
Sir, that's what like the electoral bond yesterday, whatever the expose was, and whatever we have seen on social media and WhatsApp groups, like messages we are getting. So do you think if this kind of expose was in some other country, the government would have been like prosecuted by the when proved, not like just constitution?
I think so. I think it will be very embarrassing for any government to have this. So let's see where it goes now. Okay, it has just been opened up. So let's see how it shapes up.
Okay.
The discourse. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Sean. Thanks,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We had 800 people putting together from all the forums, Sam.
Wow. Good. No, I think our young people are really concerned now, and I appreciate their input and advice and participation. And we need more of this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.